Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. The Rangers defeat the Colorado Avalanche 2-1 in overtime in their first game back from the All-Star break. And it did not look good for the first two periods, but the Rangers definitely played a much better third period. Panarin was able to tie it up, and Alexis Lafrenière scores the game-winning goal in overtime. Jonathan Quick was excellent, and as I had said in the last episode, the last game against Ottawa, that Quick, and I think that it was really for the reason, more so than anything, the fact that Shesterkin was a part of the festivities in Toronto, and so the fact that Quick has played better, I think, maybe plays a small role, but I'm not surprised that he played this game. But for me, I'm expecting Shesterkin to play the next game against the Lightning, but with the way things are trending, Quick definitely deserves to play more than he has. And it's, I think more of a talking point. And it's not as if Quick wasn't playing much at all to begin with, but there may come a time when Quick should play multiple games in a row. I don't think that's coming yet. I don't. I think that, Igor, who, if memory serves, played well against the Lightning that last game before the end of the new year. It was Igor definitely outplayed Vasilevsky. I would expect him to get the start, but Quick, another great game. And this was a pretty gutsy win by the Rangers. Colorado was the better team. I thought for sure they were going to win the game. But the fact that the Rangers, hung in there, were only down by one. All it took was just, one thing to go their way, and that did happen in the third. So now their record on the season improves to 31-16-3. So 65 points through 50 games. And, Carolina keeps creeping closer, but the Rangers have been able to just hold them off just enough. So now they're 4 points ahead of Carolina, and the Hurricanes have 2 games in hand. This was a game that saw Ryan Lindgren return to the lineup, which was good, which I had also suspected based on the fact that he took part in warm-ups in that Ottawa game, showed that he wasn't far off. So the timing of the break worked out well as far as Lindgren was concerned. So that meant that Connor Mackey, who was a bit of a hero in that Senator game, did not play. He actually, he is on the roster. He was a healthy scratch. And so Zach Jones was the sixth defenseman because Jacob Trouba served the second game of a 2-game suspension for an elbow that he had in that Vegas game. And I thought that, just again, keep it in the back of your mind that the Rangers, while far from perfect defensively, were not bad. That Miller-Schneider pair were solid. And that when Trouba comes back, Jones will be out of lineup, and that's, again, not surprising. But a couple of things to keep in mind. The Jones-Schneider pair is a disaster, and both of them look much better without each other. I think that there should be a lot of experimenting going on with defensive pairs, and I doubt it will happen. But, Jones is going to come out. I wouldn't mind keeping Miller and Schneider together just to see how it goes. And a lot of their minutes were versus McKinnon. Granted, McKinnon did have a goal, and in part, I guess you could blame Miller and Schneider for that goal, but it wasn't a great one allowed by Jonathan Quick. But why not have Gustafsson with Trouba and just see how that goes? You don't have to necessarily term it as the third pair. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It all comes down to the ice time, and they'll probably be even anyway. But that's what I would do, because to me, that Miller-Trouba pair has not been all that good lately. I don't love Gustafsson-Schneider, so it's a thought. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sure Trouba will be back in his customary spot, but if I'm Peter Laviolette, I'm definitely I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, what's the harm in at least seeing how it looks? Because I think that, again, when it's Miller-Trouba and it's Gustafsson-Schneider, and this isn't, and look, Lindgren-Fox is another conversation completely, because, look, I'm even open if you wanted to move that around as well. We've seen, Gustafsson have some success with Fox. So we're probably going to see what we're used to, but that was the other thing that I took from the games without Jacob Trouba, was it's not as if they fell off crazily defensively, and that's with Zach Jones in there too, which he concerns me. And you know what? He wasn't terrible. Let's see what his ice time was. 1807. That's a lot of ice time. It's not like they were holding back on the Gustafsson Jones pairing. So we'll see what happens, but Definitely thought that was interesting. But, the Rangers have trouble scoring goals. They only had one power play chance, and it wasn't a very good one. Just too much passing. But there were some positives in this game. But Panarin is just such a difference maker. And I like how Laviolette really will double and triple shift him, like a face-off coming out of, I believe it was a TV timeout, and Panarin was on for the face-off instead of Blake Wheeler, which we've seen a bunch, and that is what led to them scoring goals. Zibanejad wins a face-off, Panarin's got puck possession, and he shoots and scores. So Panarin has been so important to this team, and if you're able to shut him down, if you're the opposition, it's going to be tough for the Rangers to score and win games. But in this one, it worked out. It was a very interesting game where you had, Nathan MacKinnon, who's just been he's been one of the best players in the league. And lately he's been just on an absolute tear. And so he gets a goal, Panarin gets a goal, and the Rangers find a way to win in overtime. So let's get into the ins and outs of this one. A lot of penalties in the first. And in fact, that was it. All the penalties took place in the first period. And most of them were against the Rangers, but the penalty kill did a really nice job. So at 1:36, Gustafsson holds Zach Parise in what was Zach Parise's debut with the Colorado Avalanche, but the Rangers kill that off. Then at 5:33, Kakko trips Miles Wood, the former New Jersey Devil. I guess Zach Parise is as well. But Kakko did a bad job where there was an opportunity in front. I wish I could have seen a better replay where it seemed like he had a chance with an open net where Georgiev was a little out of position. And not only does Kakko not really have any great chance to score, then he takes a tripping penalty. So, for Kakko, it's been a struggle, based on the state of the lineup. He's going to be in there, of course. And there is a lot of dead weight in that bottom six specifically. But Kakko takes that penalty. Rangers kill it off. Then at 10:53, the Rangers get a power play. It was Rantanen and Miller kind of going at it in front of the Ranger net, and ultimately the extra minor was given to Rantanen. Nice to see K'Andre Miller with a little bit of feistiness. We don't see that enough. He's too passive. He's got the size and the strength where if he really wanted to kind of bully people around, he could. And so it was nice to see that. But the Rangers power play, not only did it not score, but before it ended, Lafrenière trips Wood. This was a bad call. I could understand why the ref thought that it was Lafrenière, but I think it was his own guy where Wood collided and fell. But so Colorado gets another power play, and the Rangers PK does a good job. So that was important. Colorado's got a lot of lethal options, but not only did they not score, it wasn't as if the zone time was great. Rangers, I'd say, even probably had more chances than Colorado. A couple of opportunities. I thought Chris Kreider was pretty active in this game, and his former teammate Georgiev stoned him a few times, but a lot of penalties in that first period. But unfortunately, the Rangers don't come into that period unscathed, as Nathan MacKinnon scores his 32nd goal of the season from Makar and Manson at 18-12. So this was a goal where MacKinnon, you can't give him too much space and time to roam around. So he gets the puck, and he's got such a powerful stride and is able to go in and make some moves. And what should have been a wrist shot stopped by Quick, it goes in. And, Quick was great beyond that, but Colorado takes 1-0 lead, and they take that into the second period. I thought the second period, a low event period, not a whole lot going on. Look, there were chances for Colorado to take a 2-0 lead, but it didn't happen. And the score remains 1-0 going into the third. I thought the Rangers definitely had a much better third period. Even before they scored, they were getting more chances. And what happens is, like I said, the Rangers win a face-off in the Colorado zone. Panarin was on instead of Wheeler. And Panarin is able to hold the puck, move around, and eventually just fires one past Georgiev. There was some traffic in front. I think Zibanejad, maybe Kreider were in the middle there. And it goes in, and the Rangers tied up. It's Panarin's 31st goal of the season, and the assists go to Miller and Schneider. So tied up at 1. And then even from there, I thought the Rangers were even doing well. Colorado had chances as well. Colorado had a really good chance with about a minute left where Blake Wheeler was unable to get the puck out of the zone. And MacKinnon sets up Rantanen, but Quick makes the stop. So this game would go into overtime. And we know how important puck possession is. The Rangers actually had Goodrow take a face-off in the defensive zone. He wins it. And I think that the Rangers essentially kept possession from here on out. What was interesting was, it was Lafrenière on at this point. I think Gustafsson. Then Zibanejad jumps on for Goodrow. The puck eventually gets to Jonathan Quick on a play where he felt like he had to beat the Colorado player, which was kind of the right decision. But it got risky where he kind of flubbed the pass. I mean, this could have ended up being like a really disastrous goal against the Rangers, but luckily it works out where it goes past the Avalanche player. And on the stick of Lafrenière, he passes it back to Zibanejad, and then Lafrenière kind of curls around, does a nice job of kind of cutting to the middle of the ice, which we need to see the Rangers do more of. And I think he kind of caught Georgiev off guard with a pretty quick snapshot, and it goes in. So Lafreniere's 13th goal of the season from Zibanejad and Quick. So Quick gets his first point as a Ranger. And the Rangers win 2-1. And actually last year, a year ago on this Monday, in a pretty eventful game, home against Calgary last year, that was a game where tons of goals, and Trouba had a big hit on maybe Kadri or something to that effect, and or he fought Kadri. And in that game, Lafrenière also had the game-winning goal in overtime. But he's the hero here again tonight. Big win for the Rangers. And now another tough opponent comes to MSG in the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team that has really been a lot better lately. Better than the team that the Rangers faced over a month ago. That was a really well-played game by the Rangers. And we'll see what happens in this one. But another really good test. And hopefully the Rangers can take some of what they did in this game. Obviously, you want a little more offense, but at least they were fairly well-structured defensively. It helped that Quick made some big saves. And there's a decent amount of pressure on Igor, who I assume will be the starter. We don't know for 100%, but I think that's the fair guess. And that, him versus Vasilevsky is always an interesting matchup. Obviously, we saw them go against each other in the 2022 Eastern Conference Final. But yeah, Rangers with a good win. They beat the Colorado Avalanche coming out of the All-Star break. They win in overtime, 2-1.